Morning, guys. William here from Junilai and Williams Adventures. And we thought we'd come back. It's morning here in the Philippines. We thought we'd come back with another subject that's been hot on YouTube lately. And we'd give our 2 cents about it. Hopefully my wife can jump in and give her thoughts on it. But the subject is going to be age gaps. What's too old? That's the subject, guys. Age gaps. What's too old? And let's look at also at the age gaps in Hollywood. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys, with that subject, age gaps. What's too old? Hey guys, welcome to Junilai and Williams Adventures. I'm William. It's Thursday morning here in the Philippines and we welcome all our subscribers. We welcome all those that are watching the channel for the first time. We thought that we would come with a subject today, and we had been talking about a little bit, and we saw it some other places on different bloggers, but we thought we'd take our stab at it, guys. Age gaps. What's too old? Question mark. And that's what we want to talk about for 10-15 minutes, guys. I was hoping that my wife would be able to join me in this vlog, but she has a toothache, so she gave me a little bit of input of what the Filipina thought process was when it comes to age gaps. So let's talk about it, guys. Lately, we've been seeing a lot about age gaps. Is it good? Is it bad? You know, and I was checking out Hollywood and I saw a lot of age gaps with big name stars. Eddie Murphy for one. I saw one with a couple other actors who I'll put in some pictures inside this video, guys. But they were ranging anywhere from 25 to 30 years age gap with these people and the younger woman that they're with. I think Michael Douglas, the actor, was one of them, with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I think they were about 25-year age difference. And that's over in the U.S., guys. Now, let me say this. Over in the U.S., if you're famous, you're into a music star or you're a Hollywood star, it seems to be, by most, mainly accepted with age gaps anywhere from 10 years to 30 years. Widely accepted because it's common in Hollywood among the rich and the famous. But those of us that come to the Philippines and we're involved in long distance relationships, first of all, guys, which is LDRs as they're called, and the age difference could be anywhere from 5 years to 35 years. I've had some people, when we comment on our blogs and we talked about this subject, they thought that any man that is 30 years older, at least, than his LDR or wife was actually creepy. That's what the word they used. They thought that that age gap was creepy, and it's frowned upon mainly in the West if you're not rich and famous, guys. So that's what we want to discuss, and we hope that you'll comment. We hope that you'll give us your input, your thoughts on this subject. A lot of my friends that I've met since I've come to the Philippines are involved in age gap relationships. Most of the guys that come here in relationships, and the women, are involved with either a younger man if it's a woman, or a younger woman if it's a man. Because for them to be involved in an age gap relationship in the United States is mainly like almost silent taboo, guys. It's frowned upon. They're looked upon as creepy old men. And that's what some of my subscribers or those that were commenting were saying. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Is it a double standard, guys? Is it okay for, if you're rich and famous, to be involved in an age gap relationship? But if you're just an average Joe, then it's taboo for you. So those of us that have come to the Philippines, and I'm married to my wife for almost 9 months now. We've been in a relationship for over 4 years. We were engaged for a year before we got married. She's 33. I'm now 68. And so we're involved in an age gap relationship. We get along fine. She has a daughter, which is now my daughter by marriage, that is 5 years old. And we are happy in our lives. We have ups and downs like everybody else, like every other relationship, but mainly we're very happy in our relationship, guys. So I don't really, as an expat, judge anyone's relationship, whether it's the same age or whether it's an age gap. But it seems to be a different mindset from the West, or if you're over here in a foreign country, especially in Asia, in Thailand, in the Philippines. Most of the guys that come here are in age gap relationships, and they seem very happy guys. Well, some guys say, well, there's no 20-some-year-old girl going to love a 65, 62 to 75-year-old man. Well, the way I look at it is, guys, that maybe this guy in the U.S. would have been sitting in his home alone. Maybe he's divorced. Maybe he's widowed. Maybe he feels like his best dating years are behind him. Over in the United States, he's been made to feel invisible. What dating app does he go on where he's going to be taken seriously, guys? And so what did he do? He looked into these other avenues of relationships, such as Christian Filipina. He might have been watching bloggers from the Philippines talk about these beautiful Filipino women that are willing to date guys that are older. Remember, guys, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That helps us push our content out. And we think that for those of you that are coming to visit your LDR, what do you think? Tell us in the comments. Some of you guys that think negatively about the age gap relationships, tell me what you think about the ones in Hollywood. Is that okay if you're rich and famous? Or is it for that exclusive crowd? Or the regular Joes like us? Are we creepy old men, as I was told by one of our commenters, if we're in an age gap relationship here in the Philippines? I was talking to my wife and I asked her a couple questions about it. I said, well, what's the Filipinas' thought process on age gap relationships, guys? And she was saying that up to 30 years is mainly what they do. Anything past 30 years is probably not as normal here. It happens, but they look at that as a cutoff point, sort of quietly, 30 years. So she also said that it's not always just financial, which we all know that if somebody's going to come in and give you a better lifestyle, that you're going to be open to that if you've been living in maybe poverty or not having enough to eat. Your kid, if you have a child, that child can't go to the better schools, and here comes along a Westerner, a foreigner, and he's going to offer a better lifestyle, and you're going to take that opportunity. But she was saying to me that a lot of times it's because they had failed relationships with those their own age guys. Filipina guys have run from woman to woman, or they've left them with a child and ghosted them and disappeared. And that they've soured guys towards Filipina men, some of these women, and this is why another reason that they get on dating sites and seek out foreigners who they've been told by their elders that these men are more stable, they're more experienced at life, which is all true, that they're more steadfast to maybe stick with that Filipina because they're more appreciative of the relationship with this younger woman. And those things may all be true, guys. And then we have to add in the financial part, guys. We understand that foreigners are looked upon over here in the Philippines from the time you get off of the plane as someone that has a lot of money. Whether you're just a working class Joe or not, your Social Security check or your pension or your 401k is a lot of money over here, guys. Even if you're only getting a couple $1,000s a month, or sometimes even less, that's much more than the average Filipino makes, even if you're getting $1,500 a month, guys, or less. Anything over that 15 to 2,000 mark would be considered upper middle class here, even wealthy if you're above 2,000, above 2,500 to $3,000. So those of you that are getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, you're rich here, guys, in the eyes of most Filipinos, who might make working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, possibly maybe $300, $400, some $200 a month, guys. So we all understand that money plays a big part in the age gap relationship. But that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to wonder why you're thought of in an age gap relationship if you come to the Philippines or Thailand or another Asian country. Now remember, what happens between the consenting adults is nobody's business of their own. If that girl is of legal age to be in a relationship with that man, that's their business. Even though we may comment on it from the outside and bring our Western culture thoughts to it, it's still among consenting adults what they do. Whether we think, or some of us think it's creepy or not, which I myself don't. So the bottom line is, guys are looking for a better life, a better quality of life, a better relationship with someone that will cherish their age, their experience. Remember, guys, somebody's trash is always somebody's treasure. And it is true that some women, if they're in a 20 to 30 year age gap, are only in it for the money, for the security, and that's something for you to work out in your relationship. But there also is genuine caring that builds through the years of these relationships, guys. Even if it's a fair exchange trade-off for that girl's relationship, for her to go out with you and for her to go out and eat dinner with you and go out on dates, go to visit beautiful white sand, blue water islands. Is there anything wrong with that, guys? Comment. Let us know what you think about the age gap relationship. And why is it okay for the rich and famous to be involved in 10 to 25 to 30 year age gap marriages and relationships all the time? And it's never frowned upon or talked about, but they're widely looked up to. But when the average Joe does it, he's a creepy old man, guys. It's a double standard, isn't it? So I think there's a lot of reasons that guys in their fourth quarter of their life are looking for something better than to be like General MacArthur said, just like an old soldier and just fade away. He has a lot of experience to offer. He has a lot of caring to offer. Maybe he has his savings. Maybe he has a pension and a Social Security check, and he doesn't mind if that girl has a child or two, to take care of that child, to put them in private school. And what does he get out of that arrangement? Well, the girl's getting the financial support that she never had. We understand that. But maybe that man's getting a smile on his face that he hasn't had in years, maybe since his wife died. Maybe since his divorce that they've been bitter about. Maybe he's been sitting in his house alone and no one to talk to. His circle of friends maybe have died out. And he took another chance at life, guys, to come over here with a beautiful woman that's maybe 20, 30 years younger than him and finish the rest of his fourth quarter out happy, guys, with a smile on his face. So what do you think? I think that we need to stop being judgmental with our Western attitudes about what grown folks do, guys. Is it any of our business if a 20-year-old woman wants to be with a 70-year-old man? Is that creepy? Maybe in your Western opinion. But maybe in her opinion, it's the best life has to offer her. And it's the best life has, at this time in his life, has to offer him. So I'm just saying, I look all across Hollywood and I researched it and saw all the age gap differences, guys. And it's never talked about in the West. It's never said that they're creepy. It's never said that there's nothing wrong with that if they're rich and famous, guys. Remember, subscribe to our channel here at Junior Lion Williams Adventures. What do you think about this subject, guys? What's too old? Is there ever a time that that man's too old to enter into a relationship with a younger woman? if his health dictates that he can. If he's healthy enough to get on a plane. If he's in shape enough to be involved in a relationship. I know guys that are over here and they're in wheelchairs. But that woman is taking care of them. And that arrangement is okay with them. They're figuring that in this fourth quarter of their life, they're at least happy. They're not in a nursing home where they're not getting care. Maybe their family's already passed on. And so they'd rather be here with a loving younger woman than sitting alone in a nursing home room or in their house with Meals on Wheels coming to bring food, guys. So a lot of times we have to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. But let's remember, this is not new, guys. Hollywood and the rich and famous have been doing this ever since the golden days of cinema. So now that the average Joe gets a chance to be in his fourth quarter with someone that's beautiful, that's caring, that he can spend his time and enjoy life with at this point of life, who are we to judge them, guys? Tell us what you think. Age gaps. Is there any that are too big? Is there anyone that's too old? Is there anyone that's too young? If they're over 20 years old, guys. If they're of legal age. We're not talking about kids, guys. We're talking about consenting adults. That's what we wanted to talk about. Now we'll sit back and wait for your comments, guys. This is William at Junie Lion Williams Adventures. And remember, enjoy every day, because tomorrow certainly isn't promised. We'll see you next time. Until then, have a good day, guys.